Sound the scout call. The call.
So stupid.
That was good, Aaron. That was good.
I had precious little time to make something.
That's good. So welcome to the welcome to the
I really hate that man.
really.
Thank you for saving us. That's Jeff Goldblum. That's Ben.
We will find a way to actually start the podcast.
Dinosaurs.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Podcast.
I'm Matt. That is Ben, and that's Aaron at the controls. We have a fancy new camera too.
Yeah.
On Ben, because he's the money shot for this podcast.
It has a zoom on it.
It's a much wider lens.
It's actually not, but
You have an IMAX.
So we're back to doing a brand new movie. Yesterday we did a Westworld finale podcast for season 2, which is live now. We got video and download it in your podcast app if you're interested. But today we're gonna get back to the movie thing and do whatever Jurassic World.
the whole title wouldn't fit on the
Is
screen.
it Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom?
Yes.
Or is it okay? I'll just call it Fallen
Numbers
Kingdom.
are not important.
No. Yeah, the movie's not important.
Hey, you're going to give away your review.
Yeah, well, so let's start there because we had a little thing going at the start. The whole time Ben was like, he was trying to agitate me the whole time. Right before the
We're going to lock in our reviews on paper.
Yeah, so, and I made a whole big point, like, I'm going to hate it way more than you, and I'm going to be more vocal about it. But then in the end, when we do the number rating at the end of the podcast, all our numbers are going to be the same. And so now we're going to call my bluff, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna put my number in.
Okay.
What are we doing? 1 to 10?
1 to
ABC?
10.
1 to 10?
1 to
Okay.
10, yeah.
On mine, I got mine written down.
All right, I'm putting my phone, written down my notes, and I'll show you. I gotta think about
Hide
this.
it down here. You got to think about it.
All right.
Yes, yeah, we haven't even talked about it yet. All
right.
I guess this is making us lock in even before
Yeah.
we can't
Yeah,
be
the discussion
influenced.
will not affect it.
Oh, no.
Not at all. What is this, discourse?
So,
Spider-Man can't change you, see?
what movie in this series is this number 5?
I
I
guess.
guess so.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it a separate entity?
The search for more money.
No, because Jeff Goldblum's in this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was like a cameo.
And he's older. Yeah. Well, so that was really disappointing because
yeah,
he's
that
in the
was-
very start and then the very end.
It was
and
everything you see in the
go.
credits.
Yeah.
Or the previews. It's like
It really did give it all away.
It was like, it's like I knew that was gonna happen. It's like, oh, bring him on the journey with you. You know, come on.
I'm gonna go away after this scene.
I got paid a lot of money and I shot it in less than a day.
I'm going to tell you all that everything you're about to do is a bad idea, and then you're just gonna do it all anyway.
Remember the first and second movie? I was in it.
This was not Thor Ragnarok money?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
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 This was This was worse than Portlandia money.
You know what? Put Sam Neill back in it.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Sam Neill is a fine actor.
He's not doing anything. He was like, sure, yeah, I'll do the whole
Yeah,
thing.
if he did a whole scene where he's laying on the dinosaur again, sleeping,
Yeah.
or did something with Jeff Goldblum. Have you seen the GIF of that?
No, yeah. I'm the one who sent you the gift. Where they
That's true,
were,
yeah, you did.
yeah, I'm the one who's life finds a way.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
If you can't tell, like we don't even care about the movie. We're talking about GIFs.
Speaking of which,
Do you guys want to talk about Mother again?
No.
There are some things that Mother. I wish this movie did more of the environmental stuff than it did. Like I wish it was more Mother
Be
actually.
careful what you wish for.
All right, at this point, it's going to be spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
Yes.
And let's wait for Aaron to get...
No, you do your thing.
Okay.
And then I will do my thing.
So how are we going to do this review, Mr. Review Meister?
I don't know. It's basically let's talk about spoilers. They're not even spoilers. I guess the movie itself basically brings two characters over, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
And that's it. Were there any other overlap? I don't think so.
Woo.
Yeah, what was up with Woo in
Right.
this movie, man?
Scientist.
Let's get the bad out of the way. Or do you want to do the
Let me say the summary real
Summary.
quick. So you bring the characters back. This is after the monsters got out and they
Beautiful.
killed the.
That should be the whole backdrop.
Yep, that's gonna be
That's
that.
it from now on. That's
Just believe it on
Last week it was the Floby, and now this.
Leave it on.
It's amazing. All right.
Little visual variety.
Yeah.
I like it.
Everyone's gonna be like anticipating, like, oh, go back to Ben. Hurry, go back to Ben. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's better.
Look at that chest.
Straight out of the fly.
So they stopped the crazy Indomitian Rex or whatever from the first movie.
Indominus.
That was in the first movie. This one picks up with the monsters. The dinosaurs are still loose, right?
Yes.
In the
Jurassic
park.
World is
Locked down, like they're ending it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to decide what to do with the assets and the property.
yes. And there's going to be a volcanic eruption on Isla Nublar.
Yeah, that seems like a great place to put dinosaurs.
Well, it was dormant 20 years ago.
But it makes sense. I mean, like Hawaii's, right now.
People live there all the time.
Yeah, my swimming pool's all messed up. Now it's a hot tub.
Very good. Very good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, jeez.
And there are no cats in America.
So they bring, and in the meantime, apparently Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt
Yeah.
broke up.
But it wasn't that big a deal because they didn't really care about it at the beginning.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. By the way, I broke up with you.
And now she's an animal activist.
Yeah.
Look, she was a corporate head honcho of Jurassic World. Now she's like,
She did a full 180. Yeah.
she did exactly what
Kinda like John Hammond.
John
yeah.
Hammond did in the first two movies.
Which is funny because I saw this movie as a remake of Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
except not as good.
And, well, some things were.
Some things are better, but the characters are better in the Lost World.
Yeah, he had Vince Vaughn.
Well, continue and we'll do some
I
parallels.
mean, there's really nothing else
So-
that
so-
happens
so
other
the-
than they're
the-
tracking down the
They
dinosaurs.
get double crossed. It's not really
There's-
humanitarian.
They
effort.
bring in Chris Pratt to help find Blue, and Blue's kind of the key, or I don't know.
They need her DNA to
And
make
Blue-
the Indoraptor more
right?
obedient.
Yeah, they're trying to
and
create a new creature.
Blue's a good dinosaur, and Blue sounds like this.
They made a whole Pixar movie about him.
Yeah, Blue.
Your joke's funnier.
Yeah. We are looking for Blue's Clues.
already-
We are looking for Blue's Clues. That's the whole movie. It's like we are looking for the
True,
the
it
bad
kind of
raptors.
is. Yeah.
Where's the lava? Right there!
Run! Thank you, Blue. And Blue's a girl too, and Blue's Clues too. So
The parallels never seem to end.
That was a really good joke. So they go and try and find Blue. Ultimately, there's also another layer of Rafe Spall. What's the actor's name? He ultimately is the bad guy he's a perfect good guy in the start, but he's actually a bad guy.
Nobody saw that coming.
and he works for Farmer Hoggett from Babe,
Yes, that's right.
who's apparently John Hammond's lost
partner.
And the Indoraptor's actually Babe too, Pig in the City.
That's true. Yeah, that's some raptor.
You're mixing up your stories about Pig.
You're right. That'll do, Raptor. That'll do.
That'll do, Blue. You're my
It's clone. That'll do, Raptor. That'll do.
So John Hammond's partner has a granddaughter, and he's just like decrepit, and he's passed over his estate to this other guy to take care of it. And you
It's
think
in good hands.
It's in good hands, but it's not, because he's going to
Wink.
auction off all the dinosaurs to
The highest
instead
bidder.
of I don't
Scruples
They're
all around.
mostly like pharmaceutical companies, right? Or
Yeah.
were they? There was no military involvement
No,
at the bidding level.
No.
Okay.
There was a Russian guy.
Yeah, Russians are never.
They're always.
Russians are never in the pharmaceutical business.
They're gonna just attach them to nukes, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole plan. It's
Yeah,
just
they're a little sketchy.
Gee, I wouldn't have thought of that.
In Soviet Russia, raptors chase you.
Yeah, they don't do that in normal situation.
Yeah, so that's the whole part of it, and then there's some other reveals, but once Bryce and Chris Pratt they get into the plan, and so they got to stop him.
Yeah, and then
Because the environment.
and then shit happens in the mansion, and then just crazy like runaway thing from this giant raptor in the mansion.
All right, spoil here. Let's just start. That mansion is not big enough to house that many dinosaurs.
But the basement is.
The basement just goes into infinity, into the ground.
That's what you're
No
complaining
way.
about?
Well, you're right. There's plenty more to complain about.
You know, Donald
That?
Duck doesn't wear pants.
He's correct.
Yeah.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck
is
Space Jam 2.
he's these guys' ancestor, or he's their
predecessor.
Yeah.
They don't wear pants either.
Oh.
God.
All right, let's get
Go
to the
ahead. Yeah.
All right. So the dinosaurs go out and then whatever, and then they're all loose because of the. We find out that spoiler alert that the little girl is actually a clone
Of her mother because
her
her mother
mother.
died.
Her mother, and
Farmer Hoggett wanted her back.
He wanted something.
Which was an interesting twist. Which I didn't do anything with it.
You're right. But
How did they get to mainland? Or was it just birds?
On the boat.
I wonder.
Oh, there was a boat.
You don't remember a boat?
No.
How did they get into like the city? Like
I guess
the very end of the movie.
I guess where they were was the United States.
Oh, it was part of the land.
The house was in California.
It was okay.
Okay.
Wow.
This is a really stupid idea. Then
I am
Even
never the one that
stupider.
pays the most attention.
Well, there was people talking to my theater.
I didn't even take
upset.
notes on mine. So
Yeah, so that's why I
the first.
assumed. I thought the same thing. I was like, well, maybe it's inland.
okay.
Okay, let's talk.
That's
about
2 times dinosaurs have
it.
taken
Maybe we
over
should do
California.
bad and ugly for this. Bring it back.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the good.
Okay, I was very convinced by pretty much all of the special effects.
Yeah, very good special effects.
Yeah, it was well done.
In part, okay, so I really love some sequences that were really well done. Mm-hmm. One in particular was the water sequence when they're in the water and he's trying to save them.
Yeah, that
I thought it
was
filmed
tense.
Tense and filmed very well. The one long shot of they're in the ball.
Oh, he's
that
going
was,
up and down.
I,
Yeah.
as a filmmaker, you know, and appreciate a film connoisseur, I appreciate the technicality of and believability of that. Of them filming that scene in one take, moving around like that was really well.
Yeah, but
that's
that's
the only thing
the
that-
trickery.
It's true, but that's the only thing that's well thought out. One of the few things that are well thought out, other than the plot of this movie, which was terribly thought out.
I would say the scene
I like that.
there are two. So special effects, like based on my rating, I would bump that up a full point just on effects by itself. Just whatever
Yeah,
it is, it just gets it.
It still doesn't compare to the first one. I don't know.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I'm talking about visual effects. There's something about the first one. Sure. Still, they're
Feels realer.
This is better. This is better than the last one.
I have a caveat for that assessment. Yes, a lot of the shots in Jurassic Park 1 are amazing.
Yeah.
But when they get closer to the dinosaurs, it kind of falls apart.
You mean when they're the animatronics?
No, I mean the close-up
Oh, yeah.
computer graphics. It happens once in a while. It doesn't happen very often.
No.
But what I mean to say is, in this movie, when it gets up close, it's just as good as it was when it was far away.
Well, I actually think when they get up close, and like say the T-Rex laying down, I don't even know that was an animatronic. I think that was a.
I agree. I felt like that. This is good. We got to talk about the good.
Yeah,
I think
the line between animatronic and not is blurred better now.
No, but I don't think he was animatronic. I think it was all CGI when he was like moving around
the truck.
In the
It
truck.
might have been. We don't know.
It looked good.
Yeah.
Like I thought it looked good. So in some cases it was.
So the two scenes that stand out for me as good were I actually thought the Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus dying in the cloud.
Oh, my
that
God.
was heart wrenching.
It was such a-
on the pier. Like that was a good emotion.
It was a callback to the first time we saw dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Was the Brachiosaurus
Right.
itself?
And even in this movie it
Yeah.
was the first one. It comes
Yeah,
wandering in.
but it was the nostalgia. It was
Whoa.
very well
To
done.
eat another
that
leaf.
was well thought.
Well
yeah.
thought out.
And they obscured it really well with kind of the fire and the smoke and stuff.
He died, by the way.
What?
Old Brachie.
Is he real? Is he dead?
Yes, they stopped animating the dinosaur.
They're like, well, We can animate smoke. We have budget for smoke.
All the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. The other scene was the one in the, like, kind of, whenever you're trapped in a confined space with a dinosaur that's trying to kill you, those scenes
they're
are
in the truck.
better.
Yeah.
So
I always hate that.
it wasn't the truck one. It was the one
going up the tunnel.
Yeah, going up the little ladder
With the
thing.
yeah.
That scene I thought was pretty tense. That was
Side
good.
question: what type of dinosaur was that?
That was an Allegoriosaurus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an Allegoriosaurus.
It's a Laddersaurus.
He's about the environment.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He wants to. I just want to invent the internet.
Allegoriosaurus. An Allegoriosaurus.
You know, I think
These are our best. We
Allegorosaurus-
should watch bad movies more.
Allegoriosaurus. No, he was a laddersaurus. He was clearly good at climbing ladders.
Yeah, they,
Laddersaurus.
he was genetically modified.
Oh, yeah, this is what I bred for.
See, the
Now's
ladder.
my time to shine.
Lava was the worst. That was my only thing I wasn't good at, but I got past that. Now I can climb these ladders.
My ultimate moment.
Come here, you.
Oh crap! A ditch. But there's a ladder. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
What are some other good things about
I can't deal with hatches. I don't know how to open a hatch, man. That's what my pen.
I dropped out before we got to that segment.
Where's the Hatchosaur? Get over here.
Okay.
Where's the Swiss Army Knifesaurus? We need you.
All right, Aaron. What are some good? that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, you know what was good about this movie? There were no characters that I hated. You know, there's usually at least one.
There was no characters I hated, but there was no characters that I really cared about.
There was no characters you hated. I hated the two new side characters. Both
did-
of them.
I
They
did
weren't
too.
great, but they
Hated
weren't
them.
bad.
They were just there. They weren't there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
No, I thought they were annoying, but they showed them enough to
They played their roles.
I'm almost gonna say that you can't count this as good if you're basically saying they were, like, you need what's the thing that them just being neutral characters for the most part. What did that allow
To
you
me,
to
it's
enjoy
good
more?
that I didn't hate them. Usually, the side characters in Jurassic Park suck.
I didn't like them. I didn't like them, but they did annoy me. They weren't on screen enough. They weren't on screen enough to annoy me.
and further to the point, they actually had something to do. They weren't just hanging around. There you go.
Yeah.
They were serving the plot.
Yeah. All right. What else did we like? We liked Jeff Goldblum in it, but we didn't like the way he was used.
Yeah, he was in the movie for all of it.
And he
45
didn't
seconds.
like talk about oh, yeah, pay me this X amount of money and I'll come for a day and go back to play my piano.
Yeah.
Does he play piano?
He's gonna go.
Oh, he's a savant.
He wants to.
He's actually really good.
He's gonna go market hotels.com or whatever.
Apartments.
Apartments.com. Yeah.
Interesting.
Apartments.
The other good thing I would say, and this will be my Do you guys have any others?
I'm sure if you could goad me a little bit, I could come up
Okay.
with something.
I'm actually going to goad you into a bad. So
All right, let's go.
I already
Gosh
know.
darn it.
So one of my goods is actually that they did try to go with a new idea for this, or at least from my perspective, it felt new. And like push the series towards something that, you know, we talked about Westworld,
Obviously,
a bunch
the
of other
next one's
things.
going to be different.
But right, and that's because they were like, "Hey, here's a human clone right here." Like that.
Yeah.
That was a.
That was neat.
That was a bomb drop in terms of a concept in this world that was pretty cool. I thought. I'll just leave that there before we move on
Okay,
to
so
all that stuff.
my thought on that. Let's talk about the human clone thing.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people didn't like that idea.
There's nothing wrong with the idea.
The idea is good. I
think-
disagree
I
with
think-
them on that.
Oh, I do too. It's like, oh, come on, dude. That's an interesting idea. The only, I think that's a good something different. I like that. I actually liked it.
Yeah, there's only one issue. They didn't do anything with
It
it.
didn't do anything, and they added a character that didn't exist in the canon until then. That had nothing to do with John Hammond. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which that was the only bad thing about it.
but it has to come from somewhere.
It does, but I'm saying like we don't like this character was never mentioned. Why wasn't he in the
It's
other
like the
ones?
girl in Godfather 3. Where was she?
Who? Which girl?
Coppola's daughter.
She was being baptized. Remember? Oh no, that was Anthony.
Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So
That was Anthony.
here's the thing: as good as that, you're right. She was just kind of plucked from the sky, which is I think they rationalized it okay with it being his partner. Is
Yeah,
kind of
they're
responsible.
estranged.
Yeah, but Yeah, and they have similar mindsets.
Was he a quiet partner? Like a really quiet partner?
That's that kind of stuff. I don't. Who cares?
I can't live with it. Technicality.
The thing I'm curious about is just here's this human clone, and we didn't really care other than that she's a kid. She's a cute kid. Like,
and she's
okay,
British.
Great.
If
they felt, I don't know. It felt like they could have done this movie as much as you're like, oh, they're neutral characters I didn't hate, which is fine. Like the characters suck.
Yep.
Nothing about them matters.
She does
There's no
suck.
reason. And then when you get to the one cool idea, which is this girl who's a clone, you haven't done anything to set up that this is like why is she a clone? Why is this so
explain
interesting?
it.
Why? Why is
Because he
just a
misses
They
daughter.
do set it up, just not very
He misses
overtly.
daughter.
Remember?
He misses
Yeah.
them, and she
She
didn't have
asks
children.
him, "Do I look like my mother?" You could be the mirror image, is what he said.
You can be the spitting image, babe. That'll do, pig.
Yeah, they set it up.
I guess it comes down to then that like I didn't care about him enough either.
Yeah,
to be like, oh, this is the
You're right.
reason. So
August
like,
was not front and center at all.
No, you're right.
here's a new guy, and oh, by the way, you're the spitting image of your mom who's gone, and we're just gonna rush through this because you're chasing off of this guy who's trying to sell dinosaurs for personal gain only.
Yeah, that's not going to
Yeah,
cause
like
problems.
I mean, it
I
all
agree.
feels just like plopped in, and
I agree with you. I think the initial idea to have this storyline was a good idea, but the execution and the story intricacies we couldn't care about. Couldn't care less about them because it didn't work. But I think the spawn of the idea was a good idea
yes.
so just
of having this emotional tie between. It just didn't work.
yeah. Well, so Wesley, we were talking about Wesley. He was on our pod. Was that even last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. He's been on a couple times. He may be on next week.
He's our favorite guest.
If he's listening, I'm gonna bring up his idea.
Sorry, Colin, you're also our favorite.
No.
We have lots of favorites.
I love him. Both of them.
He brought up the idea about the pieces were there to set up an interesting character, but they went to cartoon character versions of the villain or whatever. Like, what if Rafe, whatever, the smarmy auctioneer guy, was like actually genuinely cared about Maisie, the girl, and he had to sell the dinosaurs so that he could afford a clone, or like so that he could fund this project to keep her alive, or they needed to track down Blue specifically, not to create a hyper obedient dino raptor. Like maybe they go the cliche route and say the military wants it for that purpose, but he's going for Blue for like a medical cure. Like there's so many avenues you could have gone down that also would have related to the environment, like conservation of animals. But they didn't do any of it. They're just like dinosaurs, yeah.
Yeah, it's very one dimensional. They could have done a gray topic of like morality. You know what? Exactly.
Yeah, I mean they could have opened
what's
it.
right and wrong. But that's not their audience.
It's not there, and I know that's also not the reason. That's not the origins of Jurassic Park either. Like,
No,
it's not
but-
totally about that.
It is actually the original. It's about like the morality of playing God, the morality of like.
Oh yeah,
you
okay, I see where you're going.
genetically
Now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
engineering.
So yeah, it does.
But the book is like that too.
And actually, Jeff Goldblum introduces the whole movie with this idea that they never address again.
And that's what's beautiful about it is like everybody like in the original Jurassic Park who are dinosaur fanatics, not just Jeff Goldblum, but like Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, they say this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
This is not a good idea. And like everybody who's professionals in this one, it's like, oh, save them. But like, but that sense of moral.
I've got to comment on that.
The moral
Yeah.
the moral commentary that they had in the little projection room, which is like a simple scene, adds so
One
much.
of the best scenes in the movie.
Oh God, it adds so much discussion and sense of realism. What are we doing is right or wrong, and that commentary between each other makes it more realistic. You know, it's just
Just have a coupon day.
yeah, or something. I think Jurassic.
Coupon day.
Well, I want to say this theory. I think Jurassic Park series have slowly evolved from the first movie is like slick, great movie.
Horror
realistic.
movie. It's a horror movie that's it crosses genres. I felt.
I think it's a horror movie. I think it's a science fiction movie. I think it's
family. Like there's a lot of things.
family. I think
It's got something for everyone.
But I think it's grounded in reality.
Robot.
It's grounded in reality. You actually believe that this is a real place that where dinosaurs live.
I never questioned it.
No, you never think.
Yeah.
You never thought you were watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, and
I never
there's-
questioned that
There's
either.
something to be said though too, as part of it as both. It's a new movie, so it's what's the science fiction? So there's this like gloss, like whoa, what is this? Then it's dinosaurs are real, and literally we have from an effects standpoint, we can create them, and so there's that initial wave of just shock and awe watching the first Jurassic Park that then any other sequel after I don't think has ever captured that. You can't put that back in the bottle. Yeah,
You can't because
And that's not the fault of the filmmaker.
no, and that's not the fault.
No.
It's not the fault of the story. It's just the fault of the same. They kind of made a commentary on that in the last one, where it's like, oh, dinosaurs are here, yay. Like nobody really cares as much.
Genetic,
Everything-
miracle.
We're desensitized now to it.
I'm gonna put the Floby back.
They even acknowledged in the last one that like this seems like a bad idea to do it again. And
Yeah.
Nah.
it's just this like meta commentary on like why are we making these sequels? Because we would make money.
Because of more money.
I hate to interject, but there was. I don't know how half-assed of an attempt it was, but there was a gray area moment in this movie when the bad guy, the smarmy bad guy, tried to guilt Chris Pratt and what's-her-face when they were in the cage. He was like, "Oh, you guys aren't so innocent either."
Yeah, he basically just called out their hypocrisy.
Yes.
Which is
It's not the gray area we were hoping for, but it's something.
it's not unfair, but it's basically them being like, you are not heroes we should be rooting for, even though the movie writers, are writing this dialogue for the characters.
Yes, it was very transparent.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
Where's the nuance?
There wasn't any. And speaking of, there's one bad.
I'm sorry, bad?
My mama said Jurassic Park was just a phase. There's one bad character flaw. Well, there's two, but one just didn't make sense. It's like how you can think of so many other creative ways to get that raptor out of his cage. There's so many other ways to get. But the stupid military guy. That was the dumbest thing.
It was not the worst thing in the movie.
No, but it's like that doesn't make sense.
It makes sense if you're an idiot.
Yeah, but he didn't seem like an idiot to begin with. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's dumb, yeah.
I would consider somebody who walks up to dinosaurs and yanks their teeth out to be an idiot.
Yeah.
It's gonna backfire on you eventually.
Yeah. But speaking of which, there was a lot of dismembering in this Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
more than any other Jurassic Park.
I was like, wow, they managed to hide all that blood.
yeah, and it's still PG-13.
Yeah.
Like if I was a little kid, I'd be. I remember watching Jurassic Park 2 in theaters and being traumatized of the T-Rex eating the guy in half.
Yeah, and then they
They did that.
the scene where they're in the rain and then they get the driver guy and then they tear him in half.
That's what. Yeah.
So they did it real it's a real long shot. They don't show
But
anything.
that was taboo. They show a lot more, and it's like this is where
You
we're
see the
going.
arm get chopped
You see
off.
the arm get chopped off. You see the other guy get like torn up by the other two dinosaurs at the end. It's like, wow, and they got away with it.
Can you guys help me with the intro scene? What like
about
they
it?
went and got the
Indominus Rex.
they got the
I like
bone.
the intro scene was one of the best parts.
It was a good scene, but I also feel like it just kind of went away. That there's this big
The bone is what they used to make the dinosaur later in the movie.
Yeah.
that's fine, but the fish that got away, the dinosaur monster fish, that
the
got away,
mosasaurus?
yeah, that's the one at the end, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one
they
with the
just used
surfer?
that as a setup so they could show their
So
Jurassic
you went down
World.
the river, or something,
But
to the
it had nothing to do with.
No.
Had nothing to do with the events of the movie.
No,
that dinosaur got to where it was.
That scene is just so they can show him in the wave later. And
And
be like,
which-
dinosaurs are among
which
us now.
makes me mad because one of the main reasons I got excited for the movie was that scene in the
you were talking about. I'm in.
But that was just like
Hey, you'll get your fix when we go see The Meg.
Yeah.
I'll give
I
them
am so on board.
We'll be seeing them.
They should cross worlds. They should have the Megalodon versus the Megalodon versus the Mosasaurus.
And then get King Kong in there. He can swim.
Yeah, you're right. You know,
Just make Rampage. It's like,
but I like that. So I'm going to talk about this. This is back to the things I like. That scene felt like Jurassic Park, like classic Jurassic Park, like the video game. The scene at the very beginning where they're trying to get the stuff,
you're right.
And like
that flickering,
and light, like that was scary.
And they reveal the Rex with the lightning flash.
Yeah,
That was good.
Very Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Very Jurassic Park. And when they were on the island trying to I actually liked it when they were in little secret areas. That was Jurassic Park. That felt really Jurassic Park. In fact, I actually think it would be a better movie if they just didn't do the whole mansion sequence and just had the stuff on the island. I know they've done it before, but there's something about that which is cool. It's so much cooler.
The mansion sucked. I thought everything that had to do with the mansion, the characters in the mansion, the reason they were there, the reason they were
as much as I agree, the raptor chase in the hallways and stuff had me on my seat, the edge of the seat there.
Oh, I didn't have
it. Was scary for me.
It was cool. There were some callbacks.
I didn't have that at all.
There were some callbacks to the original, which I actually liked. I thought that was fine. You know, the dumbwaiter.
I hated that. I thought the resolution was stupid. Walk on the glass roof, derp, and fall on the thing.
I thought that was dumb. Why would you aim at him?
Because he was going to do the trick he did earlier with the dome one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Bait him into charging and then move.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Well, okay.
It's dumb.
You might be right, Matt, but
I didn't mind it. I thought it was intense.
When the girl was running to the dumbwaiter and you can hear the dino behind her, the way they did the sound design there with the feet pounding the ground, it got my heart rate going, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
And he's like, "Be that as it may, it was stupid."
I thought there was a lot of ex machina dinosaurs helping each other.
That's Jurassic Park.
I know, but there's T-Rex helping him in the ball.
Yeah, they didn't do that in the first movie.
And that was stupid. That was stupid because it just killed that dinosaur and just walked away. It didn't eat him or eat the dinosaur.
He's confused. The volcano's going off.
Yeah. It's thanks. Thanks, T-Rex. Everybody gets one.
So this may get to the big. Maybe this is transitioning to ugly, or if we want to do that.
Let's mix bad and ugly. It can go well together.
It doesn't matter.
This may get to the scene we were talking about it before. That was terrible.
I'm mentally preparing.
But before we get to that, this gets to the question, even from the very start of the movie, about why they want to keep the dinosaurs alive.
Yeah, why do they?
Why do they want to one faction want to transfer them to a segregated island, be free and prosper and
separate but equal?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, they want to conserve them on an island. These artificial animals they've created.
Well, here's the thing: they did that in the original one, in Jurassic Park 2.
I don't care about that.
No, but
I want to talk about the reasons for it.
He's drawing parallels. Let him.
I am. It doesn't. I don't think there's much of a reason other than being humane.
Just because they created a thing, so we should keep them alive.
Yeah, humaneness is in itself a reason.
That's fine. But here's the biggest flaw, plot wise. So the whole time I was thinking, what about Insulin, Sorna, the other island, right?
No, that's toast, bro.
No, I thought, aren't there dinosaurs running around on there?
Covered in water.
No, it's not. I guess what happened was that was supposed to be a preserved, the Site B, the second island.
Thank God for Site B.
Yeah, and that's what happened because the first island they brought those islands, they made the dinosaurs on that island and brought them to the other island. That was the whole plot line. And but then there starts the lysine contingency, which is they can only have a certain amount of lysine. If they don't have a certain amount of lysine in their diet,
they fixed that by eating beans and chickens.
Yeah, but I'm saying, they've evolved.
Give them a goat, they're good.
Yeah. Anyway, so they did that, and I guess so why do they need another island? Just take these dinosaurs to that island, first of all, and second of all, what is it? So I found out they took the dinosaurs from Site B and put them in Jurassic World. So that was they already did that already. I guess
in the fine print somewhere.
I guess it is in canon, but then it leads to another can of worms. There was a T-Rex family and other dinosaurs in Site B that they're not accounted for. The Spinosaurus?
They died.
All these other things that were in Site B that were not accounted for.
They died.
It's global warming.
No, and I think Go on. I'm done.
Well, so this will ultimately get to the reason Maisie did what she did.
Yeah, why?
But
Maisie had Maisie.
do you think that these creatures are more alive than a real bred creature when we can breed these dinosaurs at any time?
No, I think they could. They should have just killed Maisie because she's not a real person. No, no.
So you agree with her decision then?
No, I agree.
the end.
I agree that she should just die. No. Like, oh well, she didn't have a soul, so it's okay. But no, I'm saying no. You created it. I think you should take care of it. But at the same time, I think I agree with Jeff Goldblum. Let him die. Like,
Yeah.
let him die.
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
only
That
logical
makes sense.
way to go about. Here, let me break it down because I absolutely hated that scene.
Uh-oh.
All right, all the dinosaurs are in captivity. They're about to die of the hydrogen something gas, and what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard wants to save them, and the only way she can do it is by letting them out of the compound into the wider world. And she's got. Can you stop? I'm going to mute your microphone.
I'm letting it out of the compound.
Okay. She's got her fingers on the button, thinking, I can let them out and then they'll live. Am I going to save 20 dinosaurs or am I going to... Oh, if I save those 20 dinosaurs, thousands of people are going to be in danger. You know what? I better not do it. So she closes the safety and she doesn't do it. And I was like, yes, don't do anything stupid. And then the girl presses the button. The little girl. And she had to do it because they were alive.
Just do it because you're a stupid little girl. That'd be fine. If you,
That's just as good a reason.
But like, just say it would have been as eye-rolly as...
You've saved the lives of 20 dinosaurs, but you've doomed the world as we know it.
Yeah, but aren't there some already taken off the...
I don't know. It was stupid.
What about the copies?
The thing, so
There are so many better ways this could have happened.
that
Yeah.
I get exactly. I get the reason why Maisie did that, and it's
You know why?
getting,
You know
it's-
why the reason? Sequel.
Well,
No, you can do it without her being stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're trying to like push that clone idea, right?
You know how they could have done it. Hold on your thought. This is funny.
Please.
Blue could have come in and was like,
You see, I would have accepted that because Blue is smart. And she wants the dinosaurs to be happy and free.
Blue.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Anything's better than what they did.
He looks side to side. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
You know what would have been
Chris
better?
Pratt.
Anything
She's a
would have been.
clever
John
girl.
Hammond's ghost could have come in there and poltergeisted that button, and I would have been like, fine, whatever.
Our Mr. DNA forms into real... it's like
You're all gonna die.
It's like from your blood. Bingo. Dinos are free. Dino DNA.
I mean, to your point, Aaron, it reflects. I mean, it really just shows that they didn't connect the dots of the clone idea well at all for us to care about it.
All they used her for was to be like, I'm like them. I
Yeah.
need to save them.
Yeah, it just
Such
didn't
a
work.
shallow concept.
And to not take into account, again, they can make more whenever they want. And also,
Yeah,
you
you're
are
right.
endangering the lives of millions of people.
Okay,
Like there's so many other things to outweigh. But the bigger problem, even if you agree, like
You shouldn't have made them in the first place.
even if it's binary, even if it's yes or no in this moment, like they wanted to have it both ways. It was such a non-committal, even from like the philosophy of the movie ending. They did it in a way where our lead character's like, no, it's too much. There's too much loss of life. I'm not going to do it. And then the little girl comes in, bam. And so they want to have it both ways
Yeah,
without
they're taking
committing
it
to
to-
any direction at all. And it's just like, this is an interesting thing that's happening because of dinosaurs. And they're not really embraced. Like, they really wanted to embrace the clone idea and real sci-fi and real questions. They would have done a much better job with the story leading up to this point and
All
really
that girl
going one
needed to
way.
see, she needed to see the train track dilemma, okay?
That's right. Are you going to pull the lever and release the Algorosaurus into...
Climate change.
Yeah.
The climate change train.
I want to recount.
You have to buy those carbon credits.
I invented the internet. No, wait, that was Dan Quill, right? No,
I think that was Al Gore.
Yeah.
It's a series of tunes.
No, Dan Quill spelled potato wrong, right?
No, he spelled it potato. Why did they have to push that button?
I don't know.
Why couldn't they just have the dinosaurs break out on their own? It's chaos, remember?
Well, that was the thing, is if you end it there, if you end them just like dying in this gas chamber like room, just like you go into this darkness angle that then you can really play up. Like maybe one dinosaur got loose, or somebody has the code, or the scientist, doctor, whatever, has he's like going out in the real world because he's so disillusioned or crazy or something. Like you could have gone so many other directions. Instead, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, we want the dinosaurs to end up in the city, so we're gonna do it this way. And well, yeah, let's have a clone person. Who cares? And they open the doors and they get out. Like it's so.
Look.
Like, even the reasons why they brought them to mainland was stupid. It was dumb. I ripped on the mansion, but even the fact of them bringing them to mainland is stupid. You could take them anywhere.
Like, what? Exactly. But can we also talk about? Boy, you got some really good deals on those dinosaurs, right? Like, oh, $4 million. Like that's a pretty cheap dinosaur, the last of its kind, and it's a dinosaur. Wouldn't that be like 400 million or $1 billion? Like those dinosaurs would go for a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Well,
that was stupid.
Especially when you think of it, that
125 million. That's how much the movie cost.
They're going to use them for like cures for cancer, or like
Make
one of its
spend a little more paper.
Medical cures. Like they could have gotten so much more.
It's for humanitarian efforts.
No, that was dumb.
Okay, one thing about what we were talking about before. I am absolutely fine with the direction they want the next movie to go, assuming it happens. The dinosaurs in the wider world survival situation. I am okay with that. I would like to see that. The way they got there was stupid.
You're right.
Was stupid.
Well, you know what's interesting in the book, and I haven't read the second one yet. I have it. I'm going to read it. I know. I'm a little behind. But in the book, I remember reading...
You mean the first Jurassic Park?
The first Jurassic Park book. They talk about how dinosaurs are getting off the island and nobody knows how they're getting off. And they figure out how they're clever enough to sneak aboard things like, and they get into the mainland, which is crazy, which is like another, it's a very smart book. Like it's Michael Crichton, it's a very smart book, talks about,
the discussions of chaos theory in that book are very enlightening.
It's so fascinating.
Oh my god! Sorry, keep going. There's a comment I'll bring up.
What's the comment?
The comment is from Shinraku.
You guys suck.
Is it in the city? Was it a prequel to We're Back, a dinosaur story?
Yeah, you're right. That's We're back the time to the time.
That's a podcast coming up.
Yeah, just so you know,
Land Before Time
there's a long
versus
joke
We're
about
Back.
us doing a We're Back podcast.
Yeah, We're Back is great.
Yeah,
I
love that
don't
movie.
necessarily.
Professor Screw Eyes, Professor Screw Eyes, New Eyes.
I like
Do you know
that
that's
movie.
Jay Leno's voice in that movie?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I couldn't even hear his chin.
I didn't mind that movie at all. Rex.
You know what? Should we just do that next week?
You know what? Maybe we should. You know what they should do? That's a great idea. Like they should. This
do We're Back.
This is the plot.
They had like cartoon characters.
No, they had to make brain gain cereal for these dinosaurs to eat, and then they become like conscious and smarter. They don't want to eat people. They're like, here, eat this, and like their eyes bug
Jurassic
out.
Park has the deepest lore.
You know what's funny? Look, that came out.
This is a little derivative. After they eat the cereal.
Yeah. But that came out around the same time as Jurassic Park, I think, right?
I think it was a little bit before.
But
wasn't it?
there's even a joke in it. Like there's a Jurassic Park theater. He's like he's outside of.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's interesting.
So, Ben, you had a long thing. Unless you
I do have
something else.
A very long thing.
Well, that's the shorter thing. The long idea you were going to bring up was
the evolution of Jurassic Park.
Just like you consider it a B movie. I want to know your thoughts because I was thinking about this on the drive over, and I have a thought about it. So I'm curious what.
All right, so you had the first Jurassic Park, which is brilliant, sense of realism. Excellent movie.
All the while being, all the while appealing to general audiences.
Absolutely.
They balance it incredibly well.
It's a smart, sophisticated, is perfect. It's not without its flaws.
Yeah.
but like it's perfect.
It's auto. It's
flawed, but it's
bold as
perfect.
to say it's auto inducted in our movie.
No,
Hall
it's
of Fame,
auto
right?
erotica.
But it's our
Yes.
generation of Star Wars. If you think about it, it really is. It was that big of a movie, but also it's just good acting. It's like perfect, self-contained. That wasn't bigger than what it really is.
Can we cut back to having the GIF in the background? Of,
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better acting.
But the. But like even the previews, they never showed the dinosaurs in the previews. They did all the reveal perfectly. Everything was like the music. Everything was just brilliant. The door, the concepts of the cars. Everything was just like this is great.
It
you know?
was.
It was perfect. It felt real. It felt like a sense of realism. Second one, they tried to do that a little bit, but it kind of got away a little bit. However, they have a character in the second one. I forget his name, but he's like the hunter guy who he's a famous British actor. It's really good. But,
Brother Gilbert.
But you're right, it is him, isn't it? But they give him such good character development, unlike this other guy who's like just some stupid guy who takes tooth. There's no reason for it. Like they add character. Like this is Steven Spielberg at his prime, you know. So that one was okay. It wasn't perfect. They bring the dinosaurs back, but there's still a sense of realism and like authenticity of it being the real world. That being said, they did have a stupid scene with his daughter doing the gymnastics thing, and now that's not even the most unrealistic worst thing in Jurassic Park.
By comparison, it's fine.
No, it's actually fine. But like I remember watching that and how cringy it was.
If our little clone did that in this movie, I would have been like, this is at least closer to your concept of a B movie. Like, I know what I'm in for. Instead, they're like, there's this, hey, she's a clone. Hey, deal with that. The implications of that.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like scuttling around in the background. Like, whatever. At least that one did something.
You know what they
Yeah.
should have done is had the girl sprout like
She pushed the
long
button.
teeth and claws,
Yeah.
and become a dinosaur.
Jurassic
I'd have been on board with that.
Park 3
Just like melt.
is when
Alex
it
Mack.
started becoming a B movie.
Yeah.
And I did not like Jurassic Park 3 that much. It was slapped together. It was a short movie.
I liked it to watch it more than once.
But I liked it to watch it just for the visual effects.
So you're talking. So when we've talked about the last new reboot movie and this one, you talk about it as a ride, which to me
Yeah.
I equate kind of with a B movie. Like when you expectations
Yeah.
of the B movie,
It's become more
a
of a
little
ride.
bit different. But when you say ride,
of a
it's like a
ride.
better produced version of that.
Yeah, it's just
like,
a B movie with money.
Is that
Yeah.
good or bad though? So when you talk about Jurassic Park 3, you felt like it's more of a B movie. Is that
I think
worse or did
That's
you
up
just,
to the person watching.
I think Aaron.
Well, that's where I'm getting at. I'm
I
trying
think
to like
for me,
see
for
for
me,
you.
for me, nothing. Even Jurassic Park 2 could not duplicate the magic and wonder, and you just can't of how good Jurassic Park the first one was. And I think going this direction, I'm okay with. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm not invested as like certain movies, and I think you can get away with it in this movie. Even though I thought the last movie was more cartoony, this one they kind of went dark. Like you said, they went ahead of both ways. It was still a B movie, but it wasn't. It was.
I
I
don't think they wanted it both ways. I think they just failed at.
They just didn't want to
everything.
commit.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think I think they failed at any direction they were trying to go for.
Yeah, I think so.
I actually think the one before this was significantly better than this,
I don't know.
which is I think is a controversial.
I still
opinion,
haven't seen it.
actually. Yeah.
I actually rather watch this one again. I think because
I still like the allure and the mystique of going to a park, and they're even
Yeah.
as stupid and misguided as it was.
The park environment's cool.
At least they were acknowledging it. To me, so this is why I was so interested when you brought up B movie. I felt like with the first movie, the first reboot movie, Jurassic World, they were totally acknowledging like this is a money grab. We're just gonna make these fun. Who gives a shit? Like I thought that's what the direction was. That's how the movie played out. That's the only thing you can take from it. There's nothing else there. That's it. This movie was like, I read a philosophy book in my free time, and I'm going to try and weave in some crap here. And they tried to do a little bit more, which especially after you establish for a reboot, this is the new direction of the series, that it's just fun, whatever. Like, and then you try and wedge in more complications. I don't think, especially unsuccessfully, it's going to make me turn on it really violently. I was like, no, it's not working.
just like Jurassic Park, like violently if they have to.
Hey, nice one.
You know.
You get 1 second of clapping.
Thank you. I was overwhelmed about the power of Jurassic Park originally, but that power is out now.
We didn't respect it,
We didn't
man.
respect- now it's out. People are dying watching these stupid movies.
Yes, but the dinosaurs are alive.
Yes.
Like when she said that line, because they're alive, it made me think of what was it? What was that horror movie? Was it the one where it's Liv Tyler and those murderers just come to her house?
Oh, the Strangers.
The Strangers.
That was a creepy
yeah.
movie.
They're like, "Why are you doing this?" And they're like, "Because you were home."
It's a bunch of left hands.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
that
that's what
movie?
it made me
It's
think
just
of.
a bunch of left hands wandering into Liv Tyler's.
There you
Liv
go.
Taylor's, yeah, whatever. Just keep talking.
Yeah. I don't know.
God, I hate it.
No, but I think I actually like this movie better than the last one, just because of certain sequences I liked. I like just the sequences I liked. Not as a movie. I think it's an inferior movie as a whole. But I think I like the sequences so much. I'd rather watch the sequences again.
That's a fair take.
Now, does it mean it's a better movie? No.
The real question is it better than Jurassic Park 3?
I haven't even seen Jurassic Park 3.
I don't know. I kind of like Jurassic Park 3.
It had its moments, but gosh, it was boring most of the time.
I think this is better than Jurassic Park 3.
So
I think it is too.
Yeah.
The last thing-
barring the final scene.
last thing before we rate the movie, I'm curious what you guys think, because this will telegraph where I'm kind of going with the movie. I'm curious what your parallels are to the franchise of Transformers to this one.
Do it to death. That's their tagline.
Right.
I
I
don't know.
feel like that's where this franchise is going, especially when it comes to the characters.
Yeah, but Mark Wahlberg's not in
It's
it
just
yet.
like Chris Pratt. Hey, Chris Pratt, go be charming as the dud character with just interchangeable nobodies around you. No offense to Bryce Dallas Howard, who's a consistent character, but everybody else is kind of just like, hey, we'll just replace every single person around you, and we'll just throw some dinosaurs in and raise the stakes. And actually,
uncle.
we actually care more about the dinosaurs than you do. So who cares?
Yeah, they're the budget.
I feel like this franchise, which is so disappointing based on the original, is going the way of Transformers, and I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't care less anymore. I'm fatigued on it. Let me say this.
What? So I'm curious because you're wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. You love the original.
I love it.
Love it.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
You have such a staunch defense,
Defense.
You're not a defense. You have such a staunch opinion about the Star Wars franchise, but not about this. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious what the difference is. Why are you so
We might not
accepting
know.
of the evolution of this franchise versus that one?
Because I think as a universe as a whole, Star Wars is a bigger entity.
There's more to care about.
I think it's a bigger entity. I think there's so many moving parts, and I think
It's like a contained versus a universe.
Exactly.
You see the bigger stories versus the one thing.
I actually don't think as Jurassic Park as a universe. I think it was just a one movie.
Yeah.
It had a sequel, and I remember being excited for the sequel and not liking it as much.
Yep.
And I think I was slowly disappointed. Whereas like Star Wars, it was just
The
like
disappointment happened very quick, all at once.
Yeah, because I was disappointed. Like I was slowly disappointed, but I think you realize how good the first movie is, a self-contained movie. That's what it was. It wasn't meant to be a trilogy. It wasn't meant to be a bigger universe.
We gotta capture this like
It was just this idea that was good. I think that's one reason. And I think I was, I think at this point I just want to see dinosaurs. Like it's the same reason why I like King Kong,
Yeah.
the Peter Jackson one.
If it's got nothing else going, it's got monsters.
Dinosaurs. It's the same reason I like the new King Kong.
I think the difference. So I think I've captured the difference. The difference is the first iteration of the movie kind of says everything it needs to say, like on a conceptual idea level, right?
Yeah, you can't do anything anymore.
And it doesn't care about you're dissociated from the actual human characters. It's not a character movie. It's about the creature.
The first
It's
movie?
about the thing.
It's more about the characters, but the creatures are still the focal point.
I think the
No,
first
no.
movie, they're successful in the first movie, but I don't think they're the focus.
They aren't the focus, and you're right, they are successful, But the characters, the acting, the believability.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I'm not dismissing that.
Well, look at the underlying story. He doesn't like kids at the beginning. Like there's that story. Like
Yeah.
and like that beautiful. Like there's like and Ellie Satter and her chemistry. The chemistry was there.
My point is,
the writing was there.
My whole thing is about like you think of it as a universe, which is a really grand thing. But like, do you need another story about those characters?
Nope.
No, you didn't. You just said you didn't need one. You just want to see the dinosaurs. Like they said everything they need to say about those characters in that one movie.
Yeah.
Like you don't need more. Like where are they going to go from here?
And when they did it, it was bad.
Right. Maybe they could have. Maybe they could have done it better. But I think now, after so much, it's just like we want the dinosaurs. Like that was the movie about this that we cared about. Whereas Star Wars is really about there's a universe, but it's really grounded in characters that you really latch onto.
You're right.
Their dynamics.
You're right. The characters themselves, not the actors.
Right.
Where this one worked is like. Well, I actually think you argue a good point and you argue against your point at the same time. Two things can be right
for the course.
Well, two things can be right at the same time. You're right. In terms of character, like Luke and Leia and stuff, they're very important characters throughout the whole thread. That's why I'm more forgiving on the standalone Star Wars movies than the ones with
so I'm more talking about the properties.
But in terms of characters, I think that's why the first one worked. Jurassic Park worked perfectly because these characters were perfect.
Right, but it's fulfilling a narrative that isn't like. But again, I don't want to say the focus.
But they're part of the magic. These characters, all these characters are part of the magic. John Hammond, Dennis Nedry, Mr. Arnold, all these different characters. Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern and Timmy and Lex. Everybody, that was the charm. And like that, I think when the second one just had what Jeff Goldblum and had the kids briefly, we're missing something. I think you need that combination to make these. That's the only way I think it could work.
But they're all always fulfilling the same directive, right? It's not like it feels interchangeable to me. You're always building towards. You're always just pulling people that are fulfilling the dinosaur story or whatever the other thing is, and that's why it's unsuccessful. Versus, I care about why didn't 100% of the characters from the first movie come through, and I want to see that play through and what develops and how their arc goes.
But you know why? You know why? Because it logically doesn't make sense for them to go back and interact with the dinosaurs after their experience.
No,
that's the only reason why.
That's my whole point.
That's the only reason why they don't come back. But that's the only reason why the first one's a standalone movie that's perfect, because these characters are perfect.
All that to say, this is becoming Transformers, and I'm bummed about it.
I think it already became Transformers.
Yeah, like a movie ago.
Well, yeah, right. I'm trying to I don't think people think about it in that way. That this is on the level of Transformers.
It's too cartoony.
They think about it as that was better than I expected. Really? Come on, it's Transformers.
Do you remember how funny Jeff Goldblum was and Alan Grant were together with stuff that it was grounded in reality? I mean, there's some funny things that were like. These movies now are cartoony.
There were no show-stopping jokes.
Yeah, there's no breaking the fourth wall jokes.
Nothing. There's no personality.
There isn't. And the sad part is, I think Bryce Dallas Howard and
Chris Pratt, they have it.
They have great chemistry.
Yeah,
they just don't have good writing and direction for these characters.
They're naturally pretty good performers too.
They are, and they're good.
Any charm that comes through is all generated from just them being themselves.
I was wondering, there's a lot of ad-libs in this movie that this is the way movies have become. It's just say something funny.
Well, before we do our number review that we wrote down earlier, can I say what disappointed me most in this movie?
Oh.
Absolutely most?
Yeah.
Making Dr. Wu into a bad guy. It made me sad.
And he disappointed me most, too, because he's shown to be not a very good actor. 5 lines, he's great. You mean to tell me all the dinosaurs?
Velociraptor.
And this
tell me all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park can...
This one, they gave him 10 lines.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that many.
But he was bad.
It was still
he was cringy. He was like, you can't do this. So
Go get the phlebotomy kit.
He's like, here's the scenery.
that needs to be an intro. Is that here's the scenery.
What are you doing? I'm doing it. Life finds a way.
Okay. So Matt, you said you're going last.
No, I'm definitely going
Aaron
last.
sleeps on these pillows.
I want to. Salty. All right.
Let's do our numbers now.
All right. Let's do our rating.
Ben
of the movie.
first.
Out of 10. Yeah. Ben, you go first.
I will put it up to the camera.
So
No.
See,
How about you read it off?
It's a 6.
It's a 6. Okay. I will go next. My review is a no 6.
Wow.
Are you guys fucking kidding me? Really?
Wait, did you have it higher?
I had it as a 3.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
We both go, wow.
This was
Sorry,
on
man.
par with many of the other movies we've done.
It
There's
was on
no
par
way.
with my review of The Last Jedi.
Fuck you guys. No way.
Like I said.
What?
Listen.
This is in line with every other movie we've done?
That's hilarious that we have the same number.
Here's my justification. Like I said before we even started the review, I was completely on board until one scene.
Which was what? Just
The
so
button.
people
The very
know.
end.
Yeah.
The button.
Which was
The
what?
button.
Sorry, the button.
The beautiful,
Okay,
shiny button.
The Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You know.
Up until now, I've pressed them all. Beep. Movie over. Yes, I enjoyed this movie up until that part. And that is how
I enjoyed this movie until the second act. I think that
I enjoyed this movie after once Jeff Goldblum left. I stopped enjoying the movie.
and I had a bad movie experience. No, I enjoyed it. I want to see it again just for the sequences. It's the same reason why I bought the Peter Jackson
King Kong.
King Kong. I only watched one sequence.
Let me tell you.
T-Rex
Let me ask
versus
you this.
King Kong.
Let me ask you this. As a 6 out of 10, that's above average. That means you are fully on board with the next movie. 100%. I would even argue
I said as much.
100% on
Sure.
board.
I said as much. I just didn't like how they got to that point.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
But you're fine with this again.
What?
This movie, you don't care if it improves or not because it was above average.
No, I would like to improve. I mean,
I thought it was better than Jurassic Park
if I'm going to
3.
break it down,
But you're not going to be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
I mean, I'm disappointed.
What? How are you disappointed with a 6 out of 10?
Because
that's
it's
pretty
not
low.
as good as a 7 or an 8.
No,
But what would you rate the last one? The last one was a success.
I probably get a 6 too.
Oh God.
I didn't see it, but I would give Jurassic Park 3 a 5. So I think they've had a net gain.
Well, I was wrong about my prediction. That's for sure.
Maybe
This movie sucked.
Maybe the
I-
third one
like,
was a 5.
I'm stunned that you guys gave it a 6. Actually,
I enjoyed the sequences. I like some of the sequences.
hated
Yeah,
it.
for all its flaws, I had a good ride.
Yeah, me too.
There were like 2 scenes that were at all either not predictable or not.
The first,
the
first part,
whatever.
it wasn't interesting. Like, there was good ideas. Like the first part was good with them trying to get the bones, which didn't make sense because like when they eat the whole dinosaur, why is it just bones?
And the reason for the bone was stupid. The reason for the bone was to build a super thing, which is just something we've heard in a million other movies. Like, who gives a shit?
Which they made already. Why do they need it?
And why do they need the bone? They could have
Look at the bones.
They could have gone back again. They could have pulled it from the computer. Like whatever.
Just kill the freaking mosasaurs before you go down there.
Stupid. It's all stupid.
Yeah.
Why do you
Change
go-
your thing.
Why do you go into a pod that's like pill size for a dinosaur?
You should just rile me up every episode. I think I do much better when I hate the movie.
I love it. I hate it. I
See,
love it when
I'm not on my game until I hate something like that. Yeah, that was Mother for me. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
that's right, mother, and that has completely revolutionized your whole podcast.
I think, but it's the same thing. Like, did I give 6 to Last Jedi too?
I think I did.
Yes, you both gave 6.
Because I think it's the same thing. Like, but this time I expected.
I think I gave 6. No, I might have given higher.
I think it's this time I expected, that kind of movie. I mean, I actually think Last Jedi is a better movie. There was more thought to it, but I think there's.
Do I need to rationalize the meaning of my numbers again? Because a 5 is completely average, and I just don't care. I don't hate it. I don't like it.
What
So
did
it don't-
What did I give? What did I give A Quiet Place?
And this was above us. This was above 5.
This was one above meh.
Yeah, this is a.
Worth the ticket.
Yeah, I think so too. I think.
I
I think if you enjoy like some fun action of dinosaurs and stuff, I go see it.
We
This
got
is-
what we came for.
This is
is
like
exactly what it was.
This is like the whole thing about the definition of insanity is expecting something to change and you just keep.
That's actually
you
not
ju-
the definition, but go on.
Yeah, okay. Well, That's my definition.
Do you feel like
You just
What's His
like
Name
are
on Green
willing to
Acres?
go see the same thing over and over and over.
If
and
it's
over and
dinosaurs,
over and
yes.
over and over and over.
But that's
and over
every
and over
movie
and
now.
over again.
That's every movie now. I accepted
But that's
it.
the critic. That's the point. Like we should.
But
we should,
there's dinosaurs.
if we keep giving it 6 out of 10s, we're just gonna keep getting them.
Look at the Jurassic Park.
the directors aren't watching our review, bro.
Yes, they are.
No, but
Colin Trevorrow watches every
But
week.
he didn't direct this though. He produced it.
What's his face who directed the movie?
Was it Joe Johnston again?
But he didn't make Rocketeer
Yeah.
and Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
All right.
There's always lightning in a bottle at least
I'm
once.
so
Eddie worked
disappointed.
at Return of the Jedi.
All right. So what? All right.
Go see
is
the
just what
movie,
we are.
See
but
the
don't
movie.
expect much.
No, don't go see it.
No,
Quit
see
giving
it.
the money. It's
See it.
Transformers.
See
You're
it.
just
No,
making more Transformers movies.
It's not as stupid as Transformers.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg.
there's more like
Yeah, they have Marky Mark. I really hope Mark Wahlberg's in the next movie. And
there's a new one coming out called Bumblebee that actually looks okay.
Yeah, but I won't see
I
it.
quit. No, you guys can exit.
I'll wait to Netflix.
I'm not.
All right, podcast over.
All right. Well,
You're on board for the Bumblebee.
I'm not.
I'm not on board. I'm just saying it looks okay.
The trailer doesn't look like crap.
doesn't look like crap.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well,
Matt-
next time join us on Spark of Madness.
Matt
You
is
see-
quitting the Spark of Madness.
Yeah, now it's the little of madness with me and Aaron. Now
It's the Arc of Madness.
we're missing the spa. You put the spa on the spark.
I'm going to end the stream.
Goodbye, people.